Alrighty, it is First Cut with First News. Each week we go live from a different location. Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Dr. David Birkin joins us right now. He is an orthopedic foot and ankle specialist. And doctor, welcome. I'm glad you can join us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, hey, let's talk about, before we get into all the orthopedics and the ankle and foot conditions, let's talk about your background. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, yeah, I grew up on a rice farm in South Louisiana. Then I went to school over at Rice University, played a little football there, and then came up here for medical school and residency. And
how long have you been here now?
Since 2010.
Okay, yeah. All right, you've been here a while.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good grief. And as far as, let's go ahead and jump right into what you guys do, ankle, foot, orthopedics, all of that. What are some common conditions or even some chronic conditions that you run into?
Okay, so at this time of year, a lot of what we see is a lot of ankle sprains. Just getting back into sports, people starting to get active now that's not quite so hot outside. And so that's a lot of what we're seeing. Also see a lot of arthritic conditions, you know, the more chronic problems that we see in our population as we age. And we see a lot of Achilles injuries as well, things that people need to, can help prevent with stretching and things like that.
And, you know, people come see you, you guys doing a fantastic job fixing people up. Why should folks come to the Highland Clinic? What makes you guys kind of stand out from the other clinics, from the other orthopedic surgeons out there? Okay,
yeah, Highland Clinic, we've kind of been a staple in the area for a long time, and the guys that came before me made a great name for themselves, and we really focus on community and providing care for the people that we're close with and being a part of that community.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are going to have more from Dr. Birkin. If you've got issues as far as chronic or accidental with your feet or ankles, like I do from old football injuries and such, but we won't get into that. All right, Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine this morning on First Cup with First News. Here in Shreveport, Dr. David Birkin joins us, orthopedic foot and ankle specialist. All right, so we've been talking feet and ankles and injuries and chronic problems this morning. Now, let's talk, Dr. Birkin, about maintaining, I guess, healthy feet, healthy ankles. And you never really talk about maintaining, or I guess you never think about maintaining healthy feet or healthy ankles, but go into that for us a little bit.
Absolutely. So a lot of what people don't think about or that we just don't do in general is appropriate shoe wear. So, you know, when it comes to tennis shoes, making sure to change out your tennis shoes on a regular basis and understanding that
is a good idea.
That they have a lifespan.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Most people do.
Yeah.
And
went from running 2 miles to running 7 miles in one day, and bad idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that brings me to the next thing. So whenever you're starting to increase your exercises, increase slowly and incrementally, because you don't want to take too big of an increase and then lead to an injury.
Yeah, yeah. If you're running with somebody who runs that much, and I was, the dude, he just kept talking, and I didn't want to just get off the track, and so I was trying to get off the track, and he kept talking, and next thing I know, I had ran 7 miles, and the shoes I was wearing, they were low quality. You've got to have the right running shoe for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another great big thing is stretching before getting started. So a lot of people like myself that are kind of your weekend warriors that maybe don't do anything for a long time, then go and decide they're going to play tennis or something.
Yeah.
You got to warm up. You have to stretch. That's extremely important, or you can have an injury.
Even if you're as young as we are, you still need to do that. So it's very important at whatever age you are. All right, Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. We will have more from Dr. Birkin coming up a little bit later in the show. Nate? All right, it's First Cup, Highland Clinic Orthopedic, and Sports Medicine. It's sports this time of year, football, big, a lot of injuries there. And we've been talking, Dr. Birkin, throughout the morning. Dr. Birkin, how have foot and ankle treatments, evolved over time? I mean, I'm sure you just in the last probably 10 years have seen a lot of change in development with taking care of those kind of problems with feet, with ankles.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the cool new things that we're doing now are focusing on more minimally invasive surgery. So making smaller incisions, but still being able to provide the same type of improvement in with an injury or a chronic issue. And so that's been a big focus over the past probably 10 to 15 years that we've been.
The technology is probably amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So these new companies come out with some impressive new things that they've done studies on that we're able to use. In addition to that, we've been focusing a lot more on total ankle replacements. for arthritis instead of having to fuse ankles, and that's really improved people's quality of life after surgery.
And speaking of quality of life, do you have a story you could share with us on how, especially with the new technology and how things have come along? Any success stories that are just really cool that just stand out in your head?
Yeah, absolutely. First thing that comes to mind is a gentleman that came in. He was walking on the side of his foot, and his ankle was kind of turned sideways, and it's been going on for years, and gotten to where he could barely walk. And before we had kind of these new breakthroughs, this gentleman would have to have a fusion to where he can no longer move his ankle, and sometimes that's still the better option. But for him, we were able to do a couple different surgeries, put a total ankle in him, and now he can walk, and he's back to hiking and hunting and things that he likes to do.
So you're able to return his quality of life.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Dr. Birkin, we're going to talk more about differentiating care between age and injury and type. That'll come up a little bit later. This morning, we're at Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine right here in Shreveport on First Cup with First News. Now we'll go ahead and turn it back over to Nate. All right, Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine in Shreveport this morning. That's where we are for First Cup with First News. Dr. David Birkin joins us. And Dr. Birkin is an orthopedic foot and ankle specialist. We've been talking about feet and ankles this morning and injuries, chronic issues that people have also, taking care of, maintaining your feet. If you're an athlete, if you run, if you exercise, doctor, what should we be looking for when we're buying shoes? I mean, just regular shoes, just shoes you buy at the store? Do you need to look for something a little bit more than that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the key with a shoe is having good support. So a shoe that really kind of like you can roll up or fold on itself, not going to be that supportive.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to pay for that support a lot of times.
Yes.
But a good solid shoe that has good support and comes with a good reputation is typically what I recommend.
Okay, and usually that's going to come at a cost typically too. But like you said, you buy the shoe, you look for the quality running shoe, because if you don't get that quality, you're going to pay for it. And,
exactly.
Folks will be up here visiting all the time at that case. Also, exercises and stretches. You were going to show us a few.
Well, so one of the things that I really focus on is Achilles stretching.
Yeah.
Okay, so stretching your Achilles out, and then anytime before you start any type of athletic activity, you should do some sort of warm up, something to not only warm up and get your heart rate going, but also to loosen up your muscles. So dynamic stretching, light jogging, things like that are excellent before competing or doing any type of athletic activity.
And if you have some soreness or some kind of pain after a run, tell us about heat or ice. How does that help?
Okay, yeah, so initially, especially after an injury, is in the first 48 hours, it's really good to do ice because that can cut down on a lot of the inflammation. But if we're talking about something that's more chronic, I'm a fan of heating before, icing after. So helping to warm it up before you start exercise, and then ice it down after to try and cut down on that inflammation.
Okay, well, we pretty much ran the gamut this morning. So if we need to schedule a consultation with you, you're having some issues with your foot or ankle, where can we go?
Our phone number to schedule an appointment is 798-4623, or you can go to highlandclinic.com.
All right, Highland Clinic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is where we are this morning for First Cup with First News. We've been talking to Dr. David Birkin.